Welcome to the Online Course Creator Show. This is episode 57, and in today's episode, I'm sharing with you 3 easy ways to upgrade your launch results. I'm your host, Lou Blakely. If you're new around here, welcome. Thanks so much for coming along and tuning in. If you've been listening for a while, it's so good to have you back. This podcast is all about helping female online entrepreneurs turn their knowledge into income through online courses and scalable programs and online marketing. So it's been a few weeks between episodes. Basically, I got a bad head cold and a couple of weeks ago, and instead of pushing through, I actually just decided that no one needs to listen to a podcast with someone that has a cold. I have been subjected to that in the past, and I absolutely did not enjoy that. So I spared you that pain. So here we are. Took me a wee while to get over it. It wasn't anything major, but in terms of voice and recording my voice, it was not ideal, that's for sure. So a few weeks just spent kind of doing behind the scenes stuff and resting as much as possible. And here I am back into it and actually really excited to record some episodes for you. I was actually a little bit gutted in a way that I didn't have some episodes pre-recorded and batched all ready to go and rolling out, because I absolutely love that feeling, and it's something I've been working on a lot this year, is becoming that person that is that organized. And unfortunately, I think just because I just had a launch as well, I wasn't quite that prepared in advance, and I kind of kicked myself that I wasn't. But I was very happy when I logged into my podcast planning system and found that I actually had everything all planned out. So here we are, all ready to go, and I'm thanking my past self for being that organized. So today's podcast topic, this one is for people who have launched already, maybe once, maybe 5 times. It doesn't really matter, but you're looking at up-leveling your results. But if you're listening today and you haven't launched it all yet, then you're definitely going to learn a thing or two as well, so you can tune in. And let's be real, if you are in a situation where you've done a launch or a few launches, you simply aren't going to get to every single tactic that you can use in your launch. So it's always nice to be able to launch again, bring in some new things, or double down on certain areas that are going to optimize your results. And as you listen, that's what a lot of these things that I'm sharing with you today are all about, like making use of what you've already got coming into your launch. And this will make more sense. Okay, so 3 ways to upgrade your launch results. Firstly is to implement a launch runway. So this is sharing content and showing up for your audience well before you actually start inviting people to your launch event, which is like your free masterclass, your webinar, or even it could even be a paid bootcamp or masterclass. Okay, so this is the period in the 30 to 60 days prior to your launch and your launch event. So this content that you're sharing in this time should really focus on the problems people are experiencing for where they're at right now. So say if you're looking towards your next launch and you're thinking, right, I need to get people into the next round who are wanting your product, obviously, then you need to actually start educating people that are following you. You need to educate them through that bridge from where they are now to where they need to be in order to see the value in your product and to be ready to buy when the doors open. And that's what this launch runway content is all about. So there is a lot of education in this phase, and also inspiring people as to what's possible for them based on where they want to go. So this is a really great time to dig into your ideal audience and get to know them on a deeper level, right? Now, the reason that I'm mentioning this is the first one is that, yes, I think all of us know that we should be doing this, but it is actually really common to not actually be that active on social media or whatever, because we don't have anything for sale. But it's really important to stay in touch and nurture people through a process to get them ready to buy in between your launches. And this goes for your email list as well. It's not just social media. Now, while this period can be about audience growth, it's also about nurturing your existing followers too. I guarantee you there is people already following you who want what you have. You just need to bridge that gap. But in saying that, it's also a added benefit that your audience is going to grow when you start sharing more, when you post this valuable content, right? And it's really important to always be growing your email list too. So for your next launch, you could be looking at adding in a pre-launch lead magnet to attract new people just prior to advertising your launch event if you didn't quite get to that step the first time around. Now, the second way that you can upgrade your launch results is something that really deserves attention but quite often gets missed. And this is you can work on improving your conversion rate on your free event registration page. So this is like your free launch event, so free masterclass, free challenge, free bootcamp, whatever that is. Look at how you can improve the conversion rate of that page. So look at your first launch as a benchmark to start this off with, okay? And if you haven't done a launch debrief, then I highly recommend that you do one of those, and this should be part of that debrief. So after a launch, you should actually know what your conversion rate was on your free event registration page. So you look at how many people viewed the page versus how many people signed up. So you need those two data points, like how many people viewed the page and how many people actually signed up. Then from there, you can work out the conversion rate. So here's how to calculate it. Like this is the equation. So you go the number of conversions, so that's the amount of signups. Then you divide that by the people that viewed the page. So that's the unique visitors. And then you times that by 100, and that is going to give you your conversion rate, which is a percentage. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a number that you absolutely should know. And benchmark-wise, ideally it should be above 40%. So that means that over 40% of the people who view your page for your free masterclass or your free bootcamp actually signed up. And if it's not at that level, then let's make some changes to this page to improve your conversion rate. Because there are ways that you can fix this and make it go higher. So here's some tips to improve that conversion rate. I want you to look at that page and ask yourself, am I really painting the picture of the outcome they'll get by showing up to this event? Because people's time is valuable and they want to know that if they're going to show up to something, they're going to get something out of it. I also want you to look at, if you're introducing yourself, are you sharing your personal story to connect with people on that page? Now, this is not going to be at the top of the page, but it ideally should be on the page, or at least something that you can test. Also, I recommend, and this is probably the biggest shift of all, is play around with headlines, and you can even split test two different headings. So you could have two different versions of the page, different heading on each, and send the same amount of traffic to each one, and actually see which headline works better. Now, sometimes the conversion rate just skyrockets after a change in the heading, so it is actually probably the most important tip that I'm sharing with you in this list. Now, I actually wrote a blog post that walks you through exactly how to, like, numerous ways that you can improve your landing page conversion rate. So I'm going to pop that in the show notes and go and read that in full for heaps of tips and strategies that I have found have increased my conversion rates hugely. Now, this is an important way to upgrade your launch results, because if you think about it, you tweak that conversion rate, or you tweak that page so that the conversion rate can be higher. It's not necessarily about getting more people into your world. It's actually that more of them are signing up to that page, or signing up to that launch event. So the more people already in our world and the higher that conversion rate, then the more of them are actually going to sign up without us actually having to do anything extra, if that makes sense. Like, we're just optimizing the page for the people who are already visiting it. So improving the conversion rate can have a massive impact. Now, the third way to upgrade your launch results is to improve the show up rate for your launch event. So this means that you're really dialing in how to keep people engaged after they first sign up to that launch event before that launch event actually starts. Now, a typical show up rate to a live event like a webinar, masterclass, or a challenge is typically around 30%. However, this has started to drop over the last year or so. The good news is it's actually very easy to work on your show up rate if you haven't paid any attention to this yet. Like, it is definitely an area that you can optimize. And again, it's like that last one I shared with you where you're actually working on the conversion rate for a page. It's not about doing more or getting more people in your world. It's actually just optimizing the results from the people that you already have, right? So if they're going to the effort of signing up to your launch event, but maybe by the time it comes around, they're disengaged, they've forgotten about it, they've got other priorities, then you haven't really engaged them enough in that in-between time period. So I recommend that when it comes to promoting your free launch event, that you stick to 1 week prior to it kicking off, 10 days at the absolute most. So 7 to 10 days. Don't advertise your free event earlier than that. This is so that it stays top of mind and people actually remember that it's going to happen, okay? But if you start advertising it a month out, I mean, just think to yourself, do you remember anything a month out? It would be long gone for me, right? So 7 to 10 days is the golden period to advertise your launch event before it actually kicks off. Now, when people sign up, of course, they're going to get a confirmation email to say, you're in. You're all signed up and ready to go, and maybe there's some instructions in that. But sometimes what happens is that's the last email they get, and they don't actually get another one until maybe the night before the event kicks off, or maybe the morning of. Like, we need to be speaking to them in between times. So I want you to write some emails specifically designed to keep these people engaged and remind them about the free event, remind them of why they signed up, and remind them of what they're actually going to get out of it, and have these set up to go out every couple of days. So for the people that sign up right at the start, they're going to get all of these emails, whereas the ones that sign up closer to the time, they're not going to get them all. They're going to just get the ones that are delivered closer to the event. So I don't recommend, if you're setting this up on your email service provider, which of course you are, I don't recommend setting up these as a sequence. You know how, they might get them like one day after they sign up. Instead, I want you to send them as one-off broadcast emails and actually send them at a specific date and time. So they are highly relevant to the time that they're in. And if they sign up at the last minute, they're not getting the sequence while they're also, maybe even after the masterclass is done and dusted. Okay, so that's something that I recommend. Send these as one-off broadcast emails at specific dates and times. Now, I also want you to set up reminder emails that go out 24 hours, 12 hours, 1 hour, and 15 minutes before you go live. It might feel like you're overdoing it here, but remember, they did sign up for this launch event for a reason, and I have seen this dramatically improve show-up rates, because most of the time people don't turn up because they've forgotten or something else has taken priority. So we need to get in front of them, say, hey, you signed up to this event, we're starting soon, here's what you need to do to get ready, here's the link. Make it as easy as possible for them, okay? So don't think you're annoying them. They've actually signed up for this. And you know what? If they are annoyed, there's the unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email. It's not a problem, okay? So there we have it, 3 easy ways to upgrade your launch results. All of these tips I've shared today will help boost the number of people who see your online course, digital product, or program when it comes time to open the doors. And the more people seeing it is a really good thing. And especially the 2 last ways were all about that launch event. And really at the end of the day, the higher the number of the people you can get in your launch event, the more online courses you are going to be able to sell. So I hope that helps if you are diving into your next launch and you want to work on upgrading your results. Some really practical tips and strategies that I've shared with you today, and I really hope they make a difference in your next launch. Thanks so much for listening today. I hope you love this episode and have a great rest of the week. Thanks, course creators and go-getters. You're incredible, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe in your podcast app so you don't miss an episode. If you'd like to find out more about what I offer, head across to loublakely.com. See you next time.